All right, welcome back to day three of the challenge. Today we're going to talk through elevating your client experience. And this is like the most custom and personalized part of the challenge. So I'm going to give you guys a ton of different ideas, but I want you to choose what best fits you and what you would be most excited to do. So before we dive right into day three, I just wanted to do a little recap of day two. If you haven't already, make sure that you fill out the second tab in your business blueprint with your pricing increase map. So you want to make sure that you filled out the date and the different price points for your map before we go into day three. All right, so again, here are a couple of reasons that you might be looking to raise your rates. So these are just a few that can really help your brain, give your brain like a tangible reason why you're taking that action to raise your rates by the increment that you set. So these are some of the options that you can choose from in the Google Sheet, but feel free to type in your own if you decide to get professional branding done, like that's a very valid reason to also increase your rates. Or if you have a really busy season of second shooting a lot of weddings and you've gained a lot of experience from second shooting those weddings, that's another really great reason to raise your own prices as well. So get creative with this, but these are just some reasons to think through to help you back your pricing increases. So we're gonna go on, today we're gonna focus on client experience. And so I want you to do a really quick activity for right now. I want you to take out a blank sheet of like printer paper. And I would use like a pencil or like an erasable pen or something. And I want you to map out your client experience from start to end. I'm gonna give you guys, so just like pause this and take some time to do that. And what's really helpful is if you can't think of it off the top of your head, type in your email, like just type in the name of your last client and look at all the emails that you kind of sent back and forth. And that can kind of help jog your memory of like what you do from start to end for any given client. So now after you have paused and taken the time to write that out, I want you to look at your experience and try to think through, are there any parts in the client experience that could be elevated? So where are places that you can maybe provide more value or more knowledge to your clients? Are there any places where you can answer some of the questions that you get really frequently from them and kind of educate them about the process and help them feel like they were, guided along the way? Um, are there any bottlenecks in your current experience? Like maybe it takes you a really long time to send out prints as a gift or anything like that. Is there any place where it feels like it's taking you a really long time to kind of deliver something? Um, are there any areas where you can make the whole experience smoother for your couples? And then are there any areas where you could go above and beyond and kind of make it known that you've gone above and beyond? So there's a ton of different examples of ways to do this. There, you could send a gift after they've booked. You could deliver images faster than you promised. Or you could stay an extra hour or like an extra 30 minutes at a wedding or at a portrait shoot. You can think of get really, feel free to get really creative on different ways that you can kind of just take the experience and bump it up a little notch. So again, like here's a whole list of ideas if you have a hard time coming up with any while you're looking through your client experience from start to end. So these are just some things that I have personally done over time, but I just want you to pick a handful that seem like things that you would be really excited to do and excited to get to work on over the next couple of months and kind of help provide more value. And that kind of helps justify raising your rate incrementally each time. So these are just a couple of ideas to go through. If you have any questions about doing any of these, you do have the Facebook group that you can post in. So say you are working on putting together like a welcome box of stuff for your client. If you don't know like where some of the best ones or like what some good box companies are, or like what other people include in their welcome box or anything like that, feel free to drop that in the Facebook group. Or if you have a very specific question and want to ask me one-on-one, feel free to shoot me a Voxer message of kind of like chatting back and forth on like the tangible to-dos under each of these items. Um, I would be more than happy to kind of help you or like help coach you through it for the month of June, because I love being able to do things and brainstorm with my students back and forth, like one-on-one. So you're going to go through and complete the third tab of your business blueprint. So what I want you to do is on your pricing increase map, like go ahead and select the action items that you want to do. Or if you want, you can write your own in. What I want you to do is actually take it a step further. After you've gone ahead and done that, if you need some time, go ahead and like pause this video, do that, and then come back to this. But once you have that part of your spreadsheet all filled out, I want you to actually open up your calendar. So if you use a paper planner, go ahead and open up your paper planner. But if you do things digitally, if you have like iCal or like Google Calendar or like Trello or Asana, like project management systems, whatever you use to kind of like work through tasks, pull that up. And I want you to schedule a work date for each of the action items that you have. So you can either schedule like one day on your calendar, or if you think you might need like 2 or 3 days to complete something, like some of these are a little bit more intensive. So like getting a wedding published, maybe that only like you only need 1 day to work on that, but like creating a more consistent brand presence online, like that might take a couple more days. So for each of your action items, I want you to actually like schedule a work date to work on those. And so well, after you've scheduled that, I then also want you to go in and add a note to increase your price as you determined on your pricing map to your action or to your actual calendar. All right, and then once you've done that, on tab 3, I want you to go ahead and start taking any of your action items, so any of these ideas, and start breaking out really simple to-do steps for each one. So this is your way of showing your brain that like you might have a big action item or a big goal, but it's so much easier to work on like things once you have it like broken down step by step and you kind of see exactly what you need to do. And each to-do step should not take you more than 5 to 15 minutes. So that's how much you want to like really go ahead and break those action items down. So go ahead and pause this and take some time to do that. If you are struggling to figure out how to break something down, that's another good thing to go ahead and post in the Facebook group for some help, or shoot me a message and I'll help you go ahead and figure out like how to break down a big goal into some of those like to-dos for you. All right, the last thing is to go ahead and schedule in some accountability around working on these and on increasing your prices throughout the next couple of months. So if you want some personal accountability, you can always join Elevate Mastermind, which is the 6-month group coaching program that I run. And that is one of the biggest things of the program, is helping you have that accountability, and that person is going to hold you to doing the big and scary things and helping you break that down into like manageable steps that are prioritized for each of like your seasons and your months. So if you're looking for a really good place to get that kind of accountability, I would highly recommend Elevate. But this could also look like just sharing this business blueprint that you have with like a really good business buddy, or having your buddy check in with you in 6 months to make sure that you've increased your prices or anything like that. But getting some level of accountability is going to help you really make sure that you do take that action. All right, so my hopes and dreams for you, I hope that this challenge was helpful and informative and helped you dream bigger for your business. And as you can tell, I love taking really big goals and breaking them down. And I've seen my students get such great results when they're able to do that. And they go from, feeling overwhelmed to kind of calming the chaos, knowing exactly what to prioritize, what steps to take. And it helps them take action really quickly and really confidently. And then in turn, raise their rates really confidently and win back their time. So I'm now on a mission to help photographers just like you at each step along the way with kind of just tools and templates to make this such an easy transition. A lot of what I've done throughout all of these ideas, I now will provide like templates for my students to take and run with, so they're able to really like implement this very, very quickly in their business without having to like DIY everything or do everything from scratch. And so And that's kind of the goal of the whole Elevate Group coaching program that I just mentioned. And so if you're interested in that, you can definitely learn more. If you have any questions about it, feel free to either shoot me a message on Voxer or on Instagram as well. And I would love to chat through and see if that would be like a good fit for you if you're looking for just like a one-on-one support from like a coach and accountability from a group. So this is Liz's experience with the coaching program. And she said that she went from running on fumes from busy season and feeling like she was like lacking systems and consistency to feeling like she was able to better set professional boundaries. She was felt like she had more time back in her day, and she gained the confidence to raise her wedding prices as well. Um, so she really loved her experience. I just wanted to share it with you guys. And the whole goal of the program is to make sure that you're crafting a business that kind of helps you live a life that you love, which is the exact wording that she used in her testimonial. She feels like she has a clear vision and a better marketing strategy with like steps she can take to continue to just better her business over time. So just wanted to share that with you guys. Here are a little bit of the details about coaching. So Elevate is a group coaching program. So monthly we'll have a group call, and that is going to be hot seat style. So one or two students will have 15 to 20 minutes to kind of present something that they're working on within their business or something that they want feedback from the whole group. And then we also have a monthly content that gets dripped out. So there's 12 weeks of content, and there's a few modules that drop every single week for you to kind of like work through on your own. And then obviously you have like support from me, support from the group if you have any questions on like tactically implementing that within your own business. So the content is really centered around like mindset, marketing, client experience, and time management. And then you also do get one-on-one call with me monthly to really like dive in deep to make sure that you are able to make progress towards like your personal business goals. And then every single day you also get walkie-talkie access and coaching. Liz calls it, what did she say? She called it similar to having like business therapy is what she called it, but that's actually super, super helpful because then you have that daily support and just that back and forth conversation and back and forth support as you're taking action towards implementing those like action ideas that you have or action items that you have. So there's an option to join for either 3 months or 6 months. So there's a link here if you're interested, you can learn more, or if you want to chat through it with me on a discovery call, there's also a link to go ahead and schedule that. But I wanted to just thank you again for going through the whole challenge. I hope that it was fun and helpful. And if you have any questions for me, you guys know where to find me.